What's going on, team? Welcome back to it. Start Swing Trades getting started. And of course, I got some swing trades to talk about. And as you guys can see from the thumbnail, I said power hour rally. Are we going to get one? Let's see if we get one here, team. It looks like we are already starting to get a little bit of an uplift here. And it really kind of bottomed out there around 230. And I started seeing that start coming back. Let's take a look into the market. Then we'll talk about my trades, swing trades on. And we can see how the SPY is kind of recovering here on the 15-minute. But it's been all about the Qs today. The Qs, baby. I was watching them break above this 328. We've been holding pullbacks to that 328 ever since. Now up there towards 328.59. And what made me feel a little bit more confident about the up move today was focusing on the big boys, right? Remember how yesterday we were talking about it with Christian Fromhertz? What did we talk about? We talked about how the big boys didn't really partake in the rally yesterday. Well, today, technology being the only sector up on the day, you guys can look at the action, see the action around, look at Apple now starting to come back, starting to push higher to 172.40s. And this actually looked really good now. I was drawing this trend line out. You guys can see it start to push, but really it was led by Google on the day, right? Led by Amazon on the day. Really good days for those stocks as it can go ahead and continue the upside action. Amazon has been one of the ones that I pointed out yesterday that I thought could really start getting hot. And take a look. Just this week, we're really starting to climb, right? And we just recently made a move to 110, went back here towards the resistance, and now we're taking out this high here from Thursday, February 2nd, which is a 114 high. As you guys can see right now, we are at 114.24. Amazon's looking like it's in its own little bull market as it turns around. Look how the 50 is really quickly starting to sweep up. That little curve action shows me strength here in Amazon. So I'm definitely going to be watching to see if the market can get the uplift also, because now we'll have Apple kind of pushing up there. Could get to 52-week high pretty soon. We'll have Google really pushing away from the bottom. Look at how the 50 has curved on here and really started to push higher. 90 MA is even far. As you guys can see, the strength there that has been in Google. Still going to be kicking myself about that 90 opportunity, but we won't get into that action. Right now, getting up there to 120.67. Microsoft is the remaining factor today. You guys can see how it went sideways all around this kind of 312 area. I was looking for a 311 pullback. It went to 311.10. If you guys were watching live trading, of course, I talked about this level. It just didn't get there. It missed it by about 10 cents, and it was already higher since then. But this looks strong to me. Just got a lot of volume here around 210. You can see the jump in volume about 1 million shares. It could have been some contracts going through, something going on there, but definitely going to look to see if Microsoft can end the day making an upside move on the hourly chart. Look at the daily chart. Nice little setup now as it's holding the 9 EMA for pullbacks, looking for the expansion to the upside, baby. And this looks pretty strong in the market overall with these bigger names, right? If the bigger names are going to start making that upside move, I'm going to start looking to see that the others kind of follow, right? Today is not the day where different sectors led. It was all about technology today. Take a look at the 15-minute here from the open, right? You can see here, nice little upside action. But look at the other sectors today. Consumer cyclical, down today. Defensives, down. Healthcare coming back here towards the end. One thing to keep an eye out for. Industrials, down. Communication services, financial services, basic materials, energy really taking a slacking, and real estate also getting hit. And of course, the worst sector of the day is utilities, as it's down about negative 1.81%. So this just goes to show us that there was some turnaround today in some of the market. Now, the only question is, will the market follow, right? Well, healthcare names bouncing back. That doesn't look too bad there as that starts to bounce back. It was all about technology today, so we'll see what happens if those names want to turn around. Right now, those names still look strong. Look at the push that we got in NVIDIA today. Yesterday, I was talking about how I didn't want to get short this name, and it just seems like it wants to go. And there you have it, right through the 290s, back up there, almost gets to 300 today, 298. Really nice move there, 8 points higher as NVIDIA continues to push. AMD now above the 100 spot. We talked about this yesterday. Would AMD make that push back towards 100? Held the 9 EMA, now right back to it. This is a really nice pattern. Now going through it, I'd be looking for 100 to hold on pullbacks. And to tell you the truth, we talked about this yesterday with Christian Fromhertz. This was one that he wasn't going to play, but one that really stood out to me. Why? Because to tell you the truth, it really hasn't gone too much since the bottom. Hasn't made the NVIDIA move, but still has that AI play here. So it looks like we can really start seeing AMD running. I will say that I was wrong a couple of days ago when I thought that chasing here in the 95s was a little bit of a chase, because you can see it just went sideways on that level as it went to 97, back to 95, recollected. But this was definitely the area where we could have rejoined the party in the 95s. And on those 9 EMA pullbacks now, we can really look for some entries here. And what happened here just over there in March? Well, bullish cross, right? When the bullish cross happens, a lot of the times I'm going to expect a run, a pullback, and then the next action to the upside. Same way I feel about like the bigger names. We talked about it. They've been showing golden crosses for a while, like Apple and Google. They've been showing it. And now I'm really looking for the other ones to really take off. Microsoft has taken off since the golden cross. Amazon's kind of the only one left. And if Amazon can do it, I'm going to really start feeling this market wants the upside. I know that a lot of people are still a little bearish right now, but I'm actually starting to lean a little bit of the bullish side. Of course, that could all change. But for right now, it's starting to seem like the bank worries are going away. Take a look at some of the bank action today. Let's go to the 15-minute chart here for KRE. You can see how we're kind of holding these pullbacks. I wanted to keep a watch on the 1-hour chart today, and you can see how we pulled back to that 1336, but we're holding that. So if we could really kind of drive higher here on KRE, I think this is going to be looking for that nice little upside move through 37.75 and continuation to the upside. If that does happen, I really do think that we can keep watch to see that the banks don't get destroyed. But one thing to keep in mind, a turnaround today on Bank of America. So now we're in kind of this declining triangle right here, right? And so this is where we got to really be careful because it's declining because of this action. So it's pretty much a bearish pattern. Well, what I really want to see for a sign of confidence is a move back above 28 for Bank of America, making its way back there towards 30. But if it goes through 27, that's where we really got to start being careful because you're going to start seeing some of the drag. And when the banks go down, that's when the market's been wanting to go down. Today was kind of a different pattern where I see the banks actually getting hit a little bit. And what happened? Energy or technology was able to hold the whole market up, really, it felt like today. Just take a look at the Qs and look how different this is from the SPY. There's not many days where we have such separation there. And why did we have such separation? Of course, the tech-heavy names and the tech sector actually up on the day and up about 0.46 from the open compared to everything else that's down about 0.39 or bigger, right? And so that shows me that at least healthcare is coming back, but technology was really the move today. All right, catching up in the chat. What's going on out there? Now to catch up with you guys. How we doing out there? Raz, what's going on? How we doing? Yesterday's session was excellent. Didn't find this till like 5 minutes. Where did it come from? I'm sorry about that, Raz. That's my fault. A lot of times I have these up a lot earlier, but today, just dealing with a lot of things, getting ready for VCon. So you guys know how it is. I'm going to be gone the next couple of days to V conference. So if I'm out, you guys know. And at least I did the show. I'm sorry about that. You had to look for it though, Raz. Of course, I want to make it easy to find. Target earnings tomorrow. I'm strangling it. I like it, Mystery Man. And I can't blame you for that outlook. I like the outlook for Target. What do you think? You think it's just not going to move anywhere? That could be what happens here. I think you're going to get maybe an attempt towards 162. But I'm just feeling confident that maybe Target can turn things around, but not confident enough to actually take the swing. So some will say, put your money where your mouth is, Mitch, if you feel so confident about Target. The only thing that I can feel confident about Target is that it's been down here for a very long time. So it's either going to shake this like down period and really start making its way up, or I feel like we're going to come down and break this 140. So what I like about it is that it's really kind of binary now. So if we have good earnings, I'd be looking for pullbacks on Target to jump in the party. Now, if we have bad earnings and this gets hit again, well, we could actually look for it for maybe a short play down through that 140, right? And so this is situational thinking. Of course, I'll have to keep an eye on it to see what happens to these names. But target, who knows? Earnings tomorrow before the bell. I'll have to find out. Of course, I will be talking about that on pre-market prep. So you guys will see me in the morning from pre-market prep, but I'm just not going to be able to do the afternoon show. So I'll be ready to talk about target tomorrow. We'll find out 8 in the morning. Don't miss it. Pre-market prep only with Dennis Dick, Money Mitch. You don't want to miss a pre-market prep. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. Easy, Walter, how we doing out there? H&R got hit yesterday. Yeah, and then they came back, H&R block. So that doesn't seem too bad there. Tough. Charts looks like it takes another. HRB, let's take a look there. All right, HRB is taking a little bit of a hit there. I thought it bounced back yesterday. It seemed like it bounced back, but you can see it. They definitely plowed it today to the downside. I don't know what's going on here with that play. Let's see it into it. Into it is NTC. Not Intuit is NT. What's the Intuit sign? I barely ever go to it. Intuit. INTU, man. Come on, Mitch. Come on. I haven't gone through it in so long. All right. So you can see that also took a hit. That's the relationship action, but it doesn't look as bad, right? And I think that it's definitely going to be more hitting with H&R block. I'm going to leave that story alone, though. Not necessarily a play that I want to play anyways. Anything to do with the government, I'll just stay away from it. You know how it is. We always get scammed somehow. All right, Carvana. Let's talk about the swing trades now. I want to get in review some of these. So I still have Carvana here, guys. I actually added to this one today at 1074. So I'm looking for a little run today towards the close to go ahead and cash in on Carvana. Of course, I don't want to be taking too many swing trades while I'm gone. So I am going to be keeping some of the basket trades. But this like growth trade, probably just take the money and run. Did get stopped out in 2 swing trades, though. Don't want to talk about that. It's not always winning trades. Sometimes you're going to have losing trades. So Tesla stopped me out today as this cracked through that 164.70 spot. And you guys can see I had that line. It actually wicked through there, went down to 164.35, and then made its way all the way back through my entry. So that's where it gets a little frustrating because it could have been that I didn't give it enough room on Tesla, and that can happen. But definitely got hit on Tesla today and also took a hit on Unity's down action here out the gates. But at least I was glad on Unity. I didn't let it give a big loss there on Unity, a lot smaller loss there on Unity than I got on Tesla. But that's how it is. It's about 3 times the loss on Tesla that I got on Unity. Maybe, took a bigger swing in that Tesla. And that's how it can do it to you sometimes. It can move pretty fast there, team. So got caught sometimes, and that's going to happen. So another trade that is in the green, though, for us, CCL, the Carnival Cruise Line. Of course, I looked for that pullback to the 9 EMA. Now we're kind of holding the 9 EMA on pullback. So this doesn't look too bad for me. I can still hang in on this trade, just like I'm going to hang in the Norwegian trade. I'm pretty much break even here, but I can really let it work, see if I can finally get that move. I'm going to keep an eye out on these cruises. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set a stop on these plays, right? A GTC order, good till canceled order, to definitely watch these plays as I'm gone. But if it needs to, it'll stop me out. If it doesn't, it'll go ahead and continue to let the winners just kind of continue to work, right? I don't want to get out of these plays unless I need to. A lot of that is just going to be setting a stop. And if I come back in the green, I come back in the green. But I also going to keep it smart on the risk side. It won't be too much on the risk side if I do set a stop below the break-even spot. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is going on. Carly, it's good to see you guys. Chico, how we doing out there? Thoughts on Spider Gold? You can take a look at that. Just stick around, Chico. I got you. I'll get into some ticker time action. Walter Lyons, just wick all day long. Yeah, those wicks are tricks, my friend. And remember, tricks are for kids, guys. I learned that one really early. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what other stocks I have here. Of course, I have the airlines, right? They did make a nice little move out the gates, now pulling back a little bit. Just going to continue to work these positions. I like that they're holding the 9 EMA pullbacks, at least American Airlines here. I will be flying American tomorrow, so that feels good to me. UAL also holding the 9 EMA pullbacks. I like this. Now I can just continue to watch to see that the 9 EMAs hold. DAL actually recovering 9 EMA. And now I want to see DAL really take off to this trend line. So you can see how there's a little bit of a trend line here. If I draw this sideways here, I'm looking for that little move up above towards the 35s, towards the 37s. That's really going to get me a nice little move there on DAL. And that's what I got, at least for the swing trade action. So we can keep going into some of the names that are strong today. What really made a nice little up move? Of course, there's nothing wrong with taking a look at some of the leaders. And it seems like we went back to the leaders today. Even Meta getting a nice little uplift. TSM, Oracle, AVGO, Broadcom, the one that, of course, Christian Fromhertz mentioned yesterday. Nice little update today about 0.93 and continuing the trend higher. As you can see, those stocks look strong. One that I talked about yesterday that looked strong, AMAT. This doesn't do too bad today. It did do a nice little uplift, now pulling back. I'll be looking for pullbacks on this for opportunities, but Applied Materials doesn't look that bad there on that chart. Definitely these technology names really strong right now. So I'm keeping an eye out if this is really going to get the motor going. And of course, the growth names. And of course, Kathy actually pulling back today gets a little bit concerning, right? And those kind of growth names. Some of these are still hanging on, like Carvana, right? Carvana is hanging on for me, it's CVNA. And so I'm going to keep an eye out on that. But we'll see if we really do get the growth trade to take off. One thing that I was thinking about today was taking an ARC trade off of 37s for a swing trade. And I don't mind it, really. The big thing is we got to finally break out above this 40-50 level, like right above. This is going to be golden. If we can get above this level going towards 41, I think we're going to be looking way different in these kind of ARKK plays. And you can see how this pulled back to this line. It doesn't look too bad. As long as it can hold that pullback for a throwback look. Of course, you can see here how we kind of broke above this, now holding that. If we don't go towards 37, which is down here on this line, and we can hold a move towards 41, I'll be feeling pretty good about Kathy Wood. All right, so ARKK, take it how you guys see it. Take it with some grain of salt. If you guys are looking for some growth trades, I definitely take a look underneath there. Roblox not having a bad day today. That looks like it wants higher through 40. How did Snow do today? Snow still staying strong. This one does look like it wants another level, but not really pulling back a little bit here. So just be careful, but we'll look to see if this really takes off. Snow, not looking too bad. This was one that I was watching earlier in the week for a nice little move higher. And you can see how this has really been pushing. Snow, nice little drive. Could pull back to like around 166, but looks like it wants that next level. Pan W had a really hard pullback the other day. This actually looks good there for the pullback entry. I don't mind this one. I'll keep an eye on it, but I won't probably be here when this turns around. But if we can have a really nice day there and Pan W come right back up here towards the 200, doesn't look too bad from the 190s right back up to 200. We'll see what happens there in Palo Alto. All right, let's keep going. Carvana is the furthest thing from a growth trade. Well, the truth is that it's still considered in the growth stocks, right? I mean, it's really not a growth trade because they're really not making money, but we won't get into that aspect, right? I'm just keeping an eye on it because those are the targets in those momentum names, Affirm, names like that, right? Those are holding in there. There's a reason why I'm watching those types of names because I feel like they could get that next little uplift. Same thing with Upstart, right? The Upstart has been going up, down, but pretty much hanging in there since that little gap up from the earnings. We'll see if it takes the next step forward and keeps pushing. All right, how do you do option expiry play on Kathy traded? It seems like the move expiry, but guess everything moves at that point. I barely understand options. Yeah, Raz, if you don't understand options, do the research, my friend. Take your time, do it slowly. Look for people that are experts. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm no option expert. Do I know about option trading? Yes, that's where I actually first started to try to learn trading. But I got to the point where it just didn't feel like it was right for me. And I even had a class on derivatives that taught me pricing models for options. Still don't like options. It's just not for me. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is going on. You went short, Fubu. What's going on with the FUBU action? Ooh, that's actually getting hit there. Rejection of $2. I felt like this wanted to go to $2. It made its way to $2, and it's just pulling back. Probably, maybe we'll see if it holds the 90 MA. I still don't like it as much as I used to. All right, let's keep going, team. We need to keep an eye out on the stocks action out there. If you guys got a stock you guys want to take a look at, definitely throw it up. Let's see where things were getting hit a little bit. And definitely energy turning around and not looking good. Look at the XLE. Guys, I had this thing at 80, like 80, 83. And I had freaking XOM at 1009 and was looking for these to turn around. Bad management. Worst trade of the year for me. It's still giving me the FOMO action. That's why I can't even trade oil on the day trade right now. And you guys can see it going down there to 102s and some of these really breaking down. I mean, look at Valero. It's down to 109. I was shorting this originally at the 136 level. This is where I got to kind of stick with the trade. Sometimes you get some, sometimes you miss out on some. This is a big miss here on these oil trades. That's why I feel Oxy can actually go lower through that 57 and 55 and not even see Warren add to Oxy. We'll see what happens there, but definitely don't feel good about these oil trades at all, at least to the upside. They look like they're really broken. Look at Chevron going lower. And what is that going to actually do? That's actually going to bring inflation down, which I think will be positive for the market. And you could start seeing that oil prices going lower here. So this is something that I definitely keep an eye out for, but I think this is really kind of broken. You can see it in a lot of charts. One area where it seems like this one still has an opportunity of coming down, ConocoPhillips. There's still more there, but definitely keep your eyes on those. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what happens there on the oil price. But what about crude price? The truth is that just watch it. Watch crude, right? Because you will get OPEC maybe try to step in there and save it. But what is crude doing right now? It battled, tried to get back into the 70s. And for the last couple of days, it has been trying to get back above 70s and holding. You can see that. But it's starting to leak again. And it's starting to leak really close to 70. Let's see if it starts making its way back into the 60s. That's going to be very vital. And then when we get into the 60s, can we go below 66 this time and get into maybe like the low 60s? Something to watch out for. And if that happens, I can see oil smack. We'll see what happens there. All right, we'll keep an eye out to see what happens on the oil trade. Let's go to the healthcare name because this is a little bit of a mixed bag now as we're getting some kind of concern in some biotechs today, right? IBB taking a hard downturn today. XBI taking a hard downturn. Why? Of course, the situation that happened today, right? You guys saw it. It was a situation that came in with Amgen, right? Amgen, of course, AMGN. You guys can see how that got flushed today and really taking a beating today about what happened with their deal with Horizon. The FTC blocking that deal. Horizon, of course, also taking a beating on that. HZYN. Is it? I forgot Horizons right now. But I'm not really stressing about these. The key is how does it affect the whole industry, right? Today, biotechs really took a hit, right? Even the most expensive ones and kind of the higher cap ones really taking a pullback. Look at Gilead. It was looking good in the pre-market, right back down. VRTX also pulling back. Regeneron pulling back, right? Almost it filled the gap and more now. It's actually really starting to kind of fall off the tape here is Regeneron. Moderna going lower there, rejecting the 130 back higher. And so these biotechs are making a hard and heavy turn right back down to the downside. So that's another thing to keep in mind. This Sarepta looks like it's probably going to maybe fill the gap on the downside. This one's a little bit dangerous right now. And be careful because we were getting a lot of mergers to show up in biotech, and that was helping these names. Now it seems like we're starting to see some rejection, and these names could heavily turn right back to the downside. Even the major drug manufacturers who are strong. Lilly is still one that I'd keep on mind to upside. Merck doesn't look too bad. Johnson & Johnson trying to catch a little bit of a bounce, but that doesn't look strong by any means. AbbVie is letting go, it seems like. AZN, that one's hanging in. Pfizer's still pretty weak, man. I would think that Pfizer would start making its way back but it's not something that I'm looking at good. And this could be COVID outlooks, right? COVID vaccine outlooks. It just can't turn around right now, Pfizer. So that doesn't look good. Bristol Myers. It seems like it's definitely what the cliche, a stock picker's market. All right, catching up in the chat. What's going on? Looks like we're still in the range, closing green on the SPY. Let's take a look there. SPY. I spy with my little eyes. We're going to get up there. Let's take a look. All right, these are related items there. Let me go ahead and close that up. It's just, I love TC. It's so easy. You can just look at like what's up today, right? I mean, booking, nice little move there. We'll talk a little bit about some of these moves. We've talked about NVIDIA, McKesson still looking good there. CMG, get those Chipotle burritos, baby. That never turns around. But SPY, will we get an actual nice little power hour rally, right? We've been holding the pullbacks here on this. Now I'm going to look to see if we can make a move to 412 here and make a move higher. Carvana still not making a big move. CVNA here. If anything, it's pulled back a little bit. So might just get out of this trade here because it's not going anywhere. And really, I'm probably just going to cut it today. So regardless if it makes a little bit of a move, it just didn't give me what I was looking for. And maybe I should have just taken it off in pre-market. We did get up there to the 1150. We were up on this position about $1. So it's not too bad because I was up a decent amount, but kind of gave up some of the gains today. I thought it could get the bounce and go a little bit higher, but it's really gone nowhere. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and take what I can get. Small little gain there in Carvana. I'll take it out there. Boom, out of Carvana. Now I can focus on the basket trades. Just let those kind of work. And of course, we'll be bringing on our guests in just a little bit. I got Ryan Rosbiani joining me in just a few minutes. We'll take a look at what he's watching. All right, let's take a look there. What else is going on? Hammer, how we doing? I bought groceries from Target the other day. I wasn't there for just groceries. I was trying to cheer up. There you go. Not too bad. I mean, Target, it's for some reason people just don't go shopping at Target. Could be it's expensive compared to Walmart. I mean, that's where Walmart definitely gets majority of its money, right in the food section. But we'll see what happens. Market was awesome today, says Wisdom. What you nail, Wisdom? Hit big on PII, Polaris Industries. That got definitely a little bit of a hit there. ATLX, lithium name. A little bit higher. Not bad. Nice little VWAP bounces. Nice little curl higher. And I really like these patterns. What is this? Of course, this is a pennant. How is it a pennant? Because you see the trend lines going what? Into themselves, like kind of converging. That ATLX, nice little pattern there. And the rule of three. I don't even need to look. Let's see if it worked, right? You guys know I talk about the rule of three all the time. So you get an up action, right? You're looking for a down action to create a support. Now you got your support, right? You were starting to build. Now you're looking for that drive up higher, right? Then you start looking for where another support attempt, right? Then another little drive. That's what we're looking at. We're looking for the drives higher, especially for the swing highs, swing lows. That's the way I call them, right? Because it looks like that. It's like a little swing up, swing down, right? Eventually you'll get this third support and you're looking for a breakout, right? The big thing there is now you can really start drawing support and seeing where you want to risk off of. You can see the layers of support, how they started building up a layer of support around the 2214s and the 2167. So you get these kind of actions where you get a 1 up move, 1 down move, 2 up moves, 2 down move, 3 up move. From this point on, this is the very important area. Once you get this third resistance try, I start paying attention and looking for the support to hold and turn right back to the upside with the breakout volume momentum. Look at the volume right there. As we start to come back, it pulls back, it holds the support there, starts getting volume. Right after that, you can see it here. Volume starts to hit, and then goes the move, baby. The rule of three. I see it all the time, baby. That's Money Mitch's rule. You tell him out there. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on out there. Tesla, lithium, go Tesla. Oh, man, Tesla did it to me today. But I have a feeling now that Tesla's, kind of got me out of it. Now maybe it can go for those traders. We'll find out. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on there. P3 Health. Thanks for the breakdown. Of course, Wisdom. I got you, man. That's the way I saw it. I hope you were able to nail it. Doesn't mean you got to trade it like that. But that's just the way that I saw that chart. And I thought it was a pretty good one to talk about really quickly. And I can see that really quickly. Like I'm just like, ding, see the pattern, look for the rule of three, support. Let's get it, baby. I did a trade like that today on Soxel. Soxel wasn't a bad trade at all, team. I mean, I could have rolled this a little bit higher too, but I was able to get this right back through. Rule of three, right back up there towards the 1550s today. Got out at 1539. Not a bad little day trade there on the Soxel action. All right, let's keep going. Now you can afford that orange juice. Of course, we need that orange juice. Can't go wrong with it. All right, let's keep going. Up to 100 case of beers and your $500 bet for Bud. How is Bud doing? Oh, my God, man. This trade. Where's Dennis Dick? You guys tell him tomorrow, bro. Why didn't you short Bud? I want to see someone tells him that tomorrow because to tell you the truth, we both were looking at this and we were like, dude, why is Bud up here? When it did this earnings gap, this was such an easy. This was as good as it gets, man. Nice little move there. Boom. Could have just attacked that. Nail it down. Oh, man. I don't know how I didn't go after it that day. That's a pinky up for sure. But definitely Budweiser getting the hit there. Is Tap still going? No, Tap hasn't made the second move. I had a feeling Tap would have made the second move. But you know what did get going that I thought would get going is Sam's. I started talking about how this is off the bottom. And if Bud Light is going to lose market share, some of it might go to Sam's. So this is starting to get moving. I know this is a bigger stock, but who knows? Maybe I start taking a look at this for a little bit of a swing or a move back up towards maybe like 350s. Not a bad little 2 days on Sam. A little bit of 5% move. We'll see what happens. Am I still on the morning show? Yes, Nas. Yes, don't worry about it. I will be on the morning show. I will be on it tomorrow. I will be out Thursday and Friday. Sometimes AB is going to fill in and we try to work him up, right? We're trying to get him to that level where he can fill in for pre-market prep, especially on days that I need to be out. I'm not out often, but sometimes it's going to happen. And around this time, especially May, June, summer months, I go to like some conferences and that's what I'm doing. It's not like I'm not working. I'm just letting AB take some lead there and we'll be back, team. Like always, I'll see you in the morning though. And then of course on Thursday and Friday, AB will lead. Anyone into mushroom companies, big government funding? Yeah, I mean, mushroom companies, there's a ton of them out there. Cybin, right? We've had Cybin on plenty of times, but look how Cybin's cheap, right? And so this is why you got to be careful when you're investing in things that are like way out in time. Do I think the magic mushrooms are going to be good? Yeah, well, in other cases, right? But definitely also good for the long run in having alternative medicines. But we'll see what happens. I might even start a podcast on some psychedelics and how those therapeutics are moving along. We can talk about stories and how they're really used and what's the true upside for the investment, right? Because that's really what we want to talk about. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I know, Raz, you'd be a consumer, not an investor. I know it. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Mitch got a promotion. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, I love doing some business conferences. There's nothing like meeting connections. So that's what I really go to the business conferences, trying to meet some connections. Of course, make some connections for Benzinga so that we can see some great people on right here, right? All right, let's keep going. Easy, Mike. No, you can hold on the shroom stories. I'm sure you got some good ones, though. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. How's the SPY holding in? Will we get a power hour rally? We haven't really got the rally part. We're just kind of hanging in there. And a lot of this, I think, is the KRE, right? Look at the KRE going lower. When the banks go lower, that's when we turn down to the downside. So that's where it gets a little bit concerning, right? And so we need to keep an eye out on the banking concerns. Will that turn around? Will it not turn around, right? Something to keep a watch on. But like always, we'll see what happens in the market today. Definitely seeing the banks getting hit here towards the close is not what we want to see. That's where we all start losing some altitude. If I wanted to, I can maybe play a JPM day trade right now, but I'm not going to do it, team. It's just like I'd be asking for it. But definitely it looks good there for a little bit of a short here towards the close. But that's just because I'm just a little bit of a short, mean person there. Look at this. Look, watch. I probably would have hit it right there on the 60s, and then I'd be looking for this move right back down right now because it just looks like it's setting up, especially when you look at around and you see the KRE at the bottom. You see Bank of America heading right down to the lows. You go to Citi, you see it heading down to the low. You're like, JPM, you got no business being up at that VWAP right now. Watch us. They'll come into it. I'll talk about it. And of course, we'll take a little bit of a peek here towards the close. Of course, I'm not taking this trade. I'm just letting you guys know, but it's what I see out there. And you know how it is. I like to talk a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. If JPM does go lower, just going to keep watch on the swings. I'll leave them alone right now, especially the baskets. I'm just going to set up some GTC orders, of course, for when I'm away. And now it's time to go ahead and get to our guest time. You guys smash the like. Of course, if you guys haven't seen on Sunday, this man is taking over the charts on Sunday. So if you guys are like me sometimes and just want to take a look at some stock charts, you just want to check things out Sunday night, definitely catch my man here, Ryan Rosebiani, of course. How we doing, my friend?
What's up, guys? Mitch, thank you again for having me. Sorry I'm late, man. I was having some headphone troubles.
You're good, my friend. No worries at all. So we'll see what happens in the market today. It's been a little bit of a tough market. Today was an interesting one because there's not many days where I see the SPY and the Qs so against each other, right? That's definitely a separation that we don't see that often, where the SPYs are smacking lows, but the Qs are smacking some highs here. So that's been truly interesting to see. A lot of the tech holding this up. What are you looking in the market right now?
So, Mitch, I'll be honest with you. I've been watching this market today. I watch it every day closely. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this thing. So, can you guys hear me clearly? Just want to double
Yeah,
check because I
I
haven't
got
used
you,
this
my friend.
headset in like forever.
No worries. I got you clearly.
So I've been really paying attention to this market closely from a macro standpoint these past few days because right now the markets are dealing with a bit of an overhang with what's going on with Biden, the Republicans, the Democrats, essentially Biden and the Congress trying to get this debt ceiling raised. That overhang is really what's holding SPY back from making a move personally, because you're seeing Google making an all-time high year to date. You're seeing Amazon make an all-time high year to date. All these big players and these big movers are going higher, but SPY isn't reacting. It's like it makes no sense. Like I'm like in the background of us talking, I'm just double checking these. Like Apple's green, for example, but SPY's red. Like this doesn't make any sense. And the only thing I can attribute to it is this quote unquote, lack of a better term, overhang, or an easier way of saying it is something that's holding down these markets. And it's really this kind of this debt ceiling. And I think until the debt ceiling situation is solved, for better or for worse, we're going to be stuck in this range. So if the debt ceiling is raised by the deadline, you're going to probably see people, you're going to see this overhang lifted, and you're probably going to see SPY catch up to these stocks that have been roaring and racing. And I've been talking about this, funny enough, since February. I've been putting out videos about this since February, kind of trying to prepare people, because this is a topic that kind of goes under the rug until a week before the deadline, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
if we miss this deadline, you're going to see the S&P 500 individual stocks take massive hits, because this is a sign of lack of confidence from the government, and a lot of organizations will start to shut down. Even if we're down for like a week or two, if you look at 2011, you'll see then when the government shut down, then things got quite ugly, and it took a U pattern for us to be able to kind of get back up there and get going again. It wasn't a V kind of recovery that we're used to with these quote unquote rate hikes that we've been getting.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely something to keep an eye out for. It's something that, I've seen it hit the headlines so many times, though. I'm not going to lie. Ryan, at least in my career, I've seen it hit at least 5 times. So
Hmm.
it's gotten to the point where I'm almost like I'm not even really playing it into my factor, right? Because
Hmm.
it should be something that at least we consider. But the truth is that every time I've seen this has been just kind of the political game, and as we get closer and closer, they somehow clear it up.
Hmm.
So that's one thing that I'll be looking for, but also the situational thinking there, that, like you said, if it does clear up, does that give us room for the upside lift? And I think it does. I feel like
Yeah.
this market has been wanting to rip, wanting to go higher, especially because of the tech names. And I'm sure that's
Hmm.
because there's probably some big money behind some tech names now. And the truth is that can lift all tides, especially if we're just going to be at this new stage in the Fed where it's just a pause and the bears are going away, right? They're
Right.
going to their caves. They're going to the winter, even
I
though
don't
it's
think
summertime.
they're fully going away just for a devil's advocate situation.
Yeah.
I think you're still going to be in a turbulent market because we're starting to see data come out now. So last night out of China, we saw
Mhm.
some really bad sales data come out, which kind of echoed the negative sentiment when we saw their export import data. That was really really bad, and it's a signal that the Chinese people are slowing down spending. They're not buying the excessive stuff that we're usually used to seeing. Yes, last quarter we saw companies like Hermes and some higher end luxury brands do very well in China because that was exiting from the reopening. People had money that they probably saved up and they're ready to go. But now it looks like that's unfortunately slowing down. And we saw some numbers today from the US. The numbers weren't fantastic, in my opinion. They were okay. They weren't fantastic, but we saw year over year spending is down. So to me, this is like even if we pause, it's pause because one, the main reason we're pausing now at 5.25, I think we're at right now is because we have the equivalent of 100% basis point credit crunch from this banking situation. People are not taking out loans. We're literally in a bit of a credit crunch. And it's a miscategorization to call it a banking crisis, in my opinion. But I think that from that point, I think the markets will be like in this roller coaster format. You'll probably get some ranges where some weeks where there isn't a catalyst, it'll go back up, kind of cool off and come back down as you approach some fears. But I don't think that the Bears are fully out of the woods yet. They're probably going to sleep some weeks, wake up some weeks, but we're in for an interesting one. The reason that just to echo your sentiment on
Mhm.
the crisis situation. The only reason I've been hammering so hard on the debt crisis situation this time versus in the past, like you said, in the past it
Yeah.
was a non-starter, is that if you look at the government setup right now, and the last time that this happened in 2011, it was a Democratic president, a Democratic Senate, and a Republican House of Representatives. We have a same parallel situation, which can often lead to massive gridlock. That's the only reason that I consider it so important this time. If it was literally like the same setup we had 2 years ago or 4 years ago, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been an easy steamroll, like, all right, we're just going to pass it and do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye out for. I think there's going to be some bickering, but as we get closer and closer, I'll be looking for the headline that everybody, pretty much I feel like the market is waiting to see.
Mhm.
I think the market's almost like, all right, well, as soon as you give us that headlines, we'll see the algos and how they react. I feel like they're going to be really bullish because the truth is that I feel like Jerome's now almost handcuffed
Right.
to just going to a pause. And maybe, yeah, of course, I'm not in the camp of pivot here because that's not going to happen. Like,
No,
let's get
no,
over
not this
that.
year.
But,
Not this year.
but they can just go into a pause and by data meeting,
Hmm.
right? And then that's what we're going to have to deal with now. It's just going to be, is this going to be the meeting that they're going to change their dependency, their data dependency? And
Right.
so, with that being said, if the big bad wolf is not looming over our heads, I think the market wants that up move, man.
I think so too. I think it wants to go test that 420, 425 range if this overhang is lifted. I think that we have clearance for it now. If they do pause, it's a signal that markets can finally price in this rate, this penultimate Fed funds rate, and then go up from there and adjust maybe to the downside. I agree with you. I don't think that they're going to cut rates anytime this year. It'd be foolish because take a look
Yeah.
at the CPI numbers. Our core inflation is still sticky, and we're seeing some non-core items come back to life. The spike in prices of sugar caused food CPI to kick back up. So it's like we're not fully out of the woods. As much as I'd love for us to be out of the woods, believe me, as a consumer, when you go to the grocery store, you can still feel that thing. And probably this is the ugly little secret they don't tell us much. These prices never come back down. It's a matter
And
of like
yeah,
how do we
never
keep them
will.
here?
Let's just be
Yeah,
honest, never will. But the goal, right? The 2% goal. I think
right,
that they're really trying to get it to that 2% goal. And
right,
that's after what happens after that 2%. Well, when we get there, we'll talk about it. But I do
right.
think that they're focused on that 2%, and they're
I
just
agree.
trying to just leave it there. And if just putting it on a prolonged pause, yeah, it'll keep causing this credit crunch. It'll keep causing things to be pretty tough for the banks. And the big thing I think is just all about oil. That's what I think is all about. If
Hmm,
will OPEC let oil come down so that we can get this inflation down to 2%? Because that's the only thing I see going down also in inflation. Services are sticky,
right,
rent's still sticky, those haven't budged, food hasn't really budged. I mean, we see it's slight ticks
right,
down. It's not much, right? And the
right.
truth is, let's be honest. You guys see the prices at the grocery store. You guys see the meat prices. You guys see the grain prices. Wheat's actually going up right now in cost. And so as that goes up in cost and we get these grains to come right back, the truth is the inflation there isn't going to just magically poof away. The only
Exactly.
deflationary area I see is energy, where it's getting actually like you're seeing prices go down. You're seeing
Right.
the oil stocks starting to really get hit. That's going
Historically,
to be the
it's always
change.
only been energy and tech are the two deflationary sectors. Everything else, unfortunately, keeps going up. You sometimes
Yeah.
see like airline prices come down, and I still attribute that to tech. The
Yeah.
tech bringing it down. And that's the thing is like gas prices are going back up. And the unfortunate thing is I'm not a political person. I don't care about politics. But unfortunately, OPEC and the Saudis are not very friendly with the Biden administration right now. And
No, they're
that's
not.
causing a lot of chaos behind the scenes.
No, they're not. They're like, you want to take out your strategic reserves? That's on you, buddy.
Yeah, and the
Um,
other day they said like we're buying 3 million barrels of oil for strategic reserves. America uses 20 million barrels a day. What is three
yeah, we
million
need,
barrels going to
yeah,
do?
like to refill that, it's gonna take that spigot
You're
going,
gonna, you're
man.
gonna need another COVID to drop oil to negative for us to be able to afford to refill that.
And the truth is, we probably won't do it until we get underneath at least $50 a barrel. And I think
Yeah.
that that's going to be more closer to the 40 range where they want to kind of get that
Yeah, I
filled
think he
back.
said something
But
like 37 or 47, something like that. I was like,
exactly, because
you're not going to
that's
see that
that's
for
where
a
it,
while.
that's where it was back in the day. So they're hoping that it could get back to the was and back in the days, right? Let's talk about some stock action. We talked about
Sure.
the overall talk, and I could talk with you, Ryan, about the overall market all day long. And I think that everybody talks about this stuff. So it's a really great conversation to have there.
Yeah.
Let's pivot over to some kind of more outlooks that you're looking at. What kind of opportunities do you see? Of course, Techland has been kind of the place to kind of pick, but what are you looking at right now?
So this morning I had some fun with our good friend. I think everyone in the chat is also talking about it. Our good friend AMD. I know Nvidia is also being talked about
Mm,
in the chat. AMD gave a fantastic breakout opportunity yet again.
yeah.
Um, it was one that I've been looking at on and off. We've been very lucky with it with the bot and the Discord. It's been calling it very, very well. I did it again today, and I just took it off of that. That was a lot of fun. I held two runners. Like I usually like will get in and out very quickly of a trade. But I
Hmm.
was like, I have a feeling this sucker's gonna go. So I started with 30 contracts, cut 28 of them. I think 28. I started 28 or 25, something like that. I ended up with two, and then I went about my day. I was checking it, moving up the stop loss, checking, and then I was like, when we hit like around, I think it was like 100 and something. Let me just double check the fill. I think it was around like 100 and 101.30 or 101.40, something like that. A little short, a dollar or two short of the high,
Hmm.
which who cares? I closed out the last two contracts on that position, but I was very happy with it. I also
Yeah.
decided to trim a little bit of my AMD position, kind of to. I've been adding to it when we were going into chaos mode earlier this year. I added to the position significantly, so I decided to trim a little bit more of that position as well. Again, hedging myself. It's not really a hedge, but kind of protecting my downside in case the government does have a shutdown and cause markets to sell off. So I did that. I hope I don't regret that decision, but there's always going to be buying opportunities again, in my opinion. That was one. The other thing that I'm watching going into tomorrow, and it was a fun thing that I wanted to discuss with you. I didn't tweet about it or anything because I was like, let me just come on the show and talk to you guys about it. Is so Tesla has their shareholder meeting tonight.
Mhm.
And historically, every single time these guys put on a presentation, like they could be like, we're putting a man on the moon, a man on Mars, and we've cured every single cancer. The stock unfortunately takes a hit. So I'm going to be watching that going into tomorrow for a small sell off, and I won't.
Yeah.
I haven't purchased any contracts at the time. I'm not swinging anything. Full disclosure, I have a share position in Tesla, which I don't need to deleverage. The average price is decent. Um, do you have an opportunity to short this directly if you want to have a little bit of an affordable version of shorting Tesla? Excuse, well, not really shorting, buying puts on Tesla is ARK-K. If you want to like trade the downside or the upside on Tesla ever, if you want to trade like earnings on Tesla
Hmm.
and avoid that IV crush or any events where it causes IV spikes, ARK-K, their second largest holding, I think at the time, or even first with Coinbase's drop, is Tesla. So that helps you you can trade Tesla parallel to this situation. So that's what I'm watching going into tonight into tomorrow is kind of Tesla either directly tomorrow or by proxy ARK-K if implied volatility gets way too ugly and makes the contracts unaffordable or unworth it because I don't want to wake up tomorrow and get IV crushed. So those are the big two that I'm watching going into tomorrow. Um, I mean, AMD was already, the story's been told already for AMD. Can it keep going? Definitely. What I'm curious to see is if this debt ceiling overhang is lifted, do these guys become a sell the news play, or is it we're going to just keep going higher? Are we going for 105, 110?
Uh,
That's the
I,
big thing there.
my biggest thing is I feel like AMD now just started getting the AI love. And that's where I think that there could be some more upside here
Yeah.
in the AMD story. It's that I feel like, of course we were kind of looking already, and anybody that's really into computers is like, yeah, AMD is going to be a player here. But I do think that it was
Right.
kind of underappreciated when Nvidia was getting the lift off, right? Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you look at
Yeah.
that Nvidia chart, and when we were just taking off here, you could see it on the week by week. It was just a kind of a straight move higher versus what AMD was doing, which was kind of like a little bit of a lull. There is
Right.
up, back down. And I feel like
Hmm.
that really gave opportunities for investors to get in on these pullback opportunities. And now it's looking like it wants higher. And reclaiming the
Right.
100 is very important because we went up there pretty damn quickly, came down pretty quickly, but also coming right back after it off of a bad earnings report, right? Quote
Right.
unquote, right? Look how that bottoming action worked out there. I
Right.
mean, it gave you a perfect bottoming action and the nice bullish engulfing look right at the
Right.
bottom, right? Nice little candle that shows the drive. That's why I'll be looking at AMD to see if it can go a little bit higher. But I'm with you.
Right.
I'm focusing on what happens on, do we get a turnaround? Do we get some bank worries? That's the only thing that's going to turn us around. Other
Right.
than that, I feel like the market is showing us lofty stocks, right?
Right.
Stocks that pretty much show up in bull markets, right? And the
Right.
truth is, I mean, the Qs are in their own little bull market,
Yeah.
man. They're in their own little thing.
We just got some news out of DC. So
What you got?
President Biden will return to the U.S. on Sunday after G7, so he's cutting the trip short to continue talks on the debt ceiling. So it seems like they weren't able to get far today, and we're seeing the S&P gave us a nice fat red candle right off of that news, dropped about 75
Hmm?
cents in one clip. So
There it is.
this thing's going to be a roller coaster for us. Unfortunately, you can, yeah, you see the chat. People are talking about the
Yeah.
names going red. It's unfortunate because this overhang is gonna be what's gonna be controlling. Like you can see it right now. Like Fed members are speaking. We had the whole thing over the weekend was everyone was like the Fed members are going to be speaking. There's going to be 15 of them speaking, and I was telling people I was like it's not going to matter. No one's going to care anything that they say. You even have some of them showboating, and it
Yeah.
really isn't moving the markets or doing anything because everyone's just got their head in this debt ceiling situation because it's just such a big catalyst. And I think I still believe that people are underestimating the negative impact that it could have if things get ugly.
Yeah, the question is, will they let it get ugly? I feel like every situation we've run
Right.
into isn't that one, but the truth is, this one could be. And that's where it
Right.
needs to be all about kind of keeping the mentality of what? Capital preservation, right? Now
Mhm.
that's what comes first, man. We can play plenty of plays, plenty of opportunities, but of course we got to protect our capital. Always good to
Right
talk
on.
to you, my friend Ryan
Likewise, brother.
Rosbiani. You guys keep up with him. You guys see the tag right there. Give him an ad and definitely keep up on those Sunday game. He definitely has been putting up some charts. He does even sometimes up to 3 hours. So
Yeah,
come
we
over
did
and catch
last time I
Ryan.
did it. Last time I did it was not last Sunday because last Sunday was Mother's Day. The week before we did 3 hours of straight charting with
Whew.
the chat. We were just like, let's just go. As long as you guys are hitting the like button, Jason Raznick won't take me off the air and we can just keep going and
Let's do it,
having
baby.
fun. So yeah, if you
Always
guys
good,
want to do
man.
that. And if you guys
Definitely.
have any questions, you guys could follow me on Twitter. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have or anything you want. I'm seeing some names in the chat that I recognize, like Easy Mike and such. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you
man.
guys for always watching and thank you for having me, Mitch. I always love doing these.
Of course, always good to have you, Ryan. I just threw up the link there. Give them my man a follow. We'll see you next time, my friend.
Appreciate you,
Take
brother.
care.
Bye bye.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. We'll start wrapping up here, 3:55. You guys can see the SPY going down there a little bit, and we definitely are losing some altitude. Let's take a look at the high flyers. Apple coming down really fast there. Google, that was really strong, not taking too much of a hit there. Microsoft, though, did pull back pretty quickly here towards 312. So keep your eyes on that action. And of course, the Qs that were so strong really coming down quickly here. And of course, this will all be concern that can come into the market. We'll see if it really drags us down and if this debt is something to kind of focus on. Of course, I will be at VCon, but at least tomorrow morning, I will be able to take a look in the market and see what happens, and we'll see what happens in Target. Might not be the best day to report tomorrow, but hopefully we can get a little bit of some uplift in the overnight and not get that complete destruction candle that we're seeing right now on the 15-minute. You can see there, you were holding. You even made a move up there, and now you're getting hit hard here towards the close. And take a look. KRE down big, banks down big. This is what I wanted to kind of point to. Now JPM even making some little bit of a down move there. It did do a little bit of an up move when I was talking to Ryan, and then I'll immediately right back down. So I was looking at that JPM short. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not going to go short the banks right now just because I don't want to be, worrying about this when I'm sleeping. But you guys pay attention to the banks. That's going to be a big focus. Of course, the debt ceiling, we'll see what happens there. There'll be some more stocks that are reporting overnight, retail names. Of course, we'll see what happens there. Everyone was pointing negatively towards the Home Depot report today, and you can see why. I mean, Home Depot definitely took a hit. It came back some of it, but it looks like it's losing the altitude now. We'll see what happens with Target tomorrow. Will that get an up move? Find out tomorrow on Pre-Market Prep. Smash a like if you guys enjoy the action. And, of course, I'll be back, team. I'll be back next week. Full lineup next week. So don't miss that, of course. And we won't have Start Swing Trade tomorrow till Friday, but I will be at VCon. So keep up with my Twitter. Keep up with everything I do, team. Trust me, I'll get you some really nice videos from VCon so you guys can check out how the experience is and see if you want to go next year. Smash the like. Definitely getting out of here. And let's keep pushing forward, team. Small accounts working well. If you guys are keeping up with that, that's on the live trading stream. And I got some good news, team. You guys remember Place the Trades and the prop firm? Well, I'm actually going to be taking their challenge. So stick right here, and you guys will find out all about that on Start Swing Trade as I take the prop firm's challenge and see if I can get myself a little funded account to have some fun with. We need some YOLO money. Let's get it, baby. I'll see you next time, team. Smash a like, and definitely check out Trade the Pool. We'll be talking about them and see if I can get my prop firm game on. We'll find out. All right, smash the like button. I'll see you next time, team. Let's get after it.